We have over 200 different bones in our bodies. Bones have three main functions. They provide anchorage points for the attachment of muscles that are necessary for movement. They protect the delicate internal organs from injury, and they provide support and form for the body as a whole. Some animals have no bones. An earthworm has skin, muscles, and internal organs, but it has no skeleton. Like most of the animals on Earth, it is an invertebrate. Many animals have an internal skeleton. They all resemble one another. A snake is an example. Its brain and delicate organs of sight and hearing must be protected. A strong bony skull surrounds them. A cage of ribs helps protect the heart, lungs, and internal organs. The skull, ribs, and backbone make up the skeleton of the whole snake. They protect the internal organs and provide support. Because a snake has no other bones, it slithers along using its muscles to pull on its ribs. The ribs act as levers to help the snake move. Even this simple skeleton provides enough support and movement so that the snake can lift itself off the ground. If the skeleton of a snake is compared to that of a bird or a frog, they have features that resemble each other. They have ribs, skulls, and backbones, but they are different. Birds and frogs have developed limbs. A similar framework is in all animals with backbones, vertebrates, the most advanced animals on Earth. All vertebrates have a spinal column of separate bones, the vertebrae. Inside the column is a nerve cord joined to a highly developed brain. This superior nervous system produces fast and effective response to the outside world. It is the key to the success of the vertebrates. Not all vertebrates have a skeleton made of bone. Sharks, rays, and some other fish have a skeleton made of soft cartilage. The supporting structure for human ear and nose is cartilage, and vertebrate embryos have a skeleton of cartilage that is later replaced by bone. The bone is created from calcium carbonate and phosphorus extracted from the blood. In each animal, the skeleton has evolved to suit a particular way of life. A giraffe is able to reach the tops of trees to get at the leaves, and yet its neck has the same number of bones as a human's. An elephant must have large and dense bones to support its weight. In contrast, if a bird had heavy bones, it could not fly. So the bones of a bird are light, and there is a further weight reduction without much loss of strength, because the bones are hollow. Bones are dead matter, but bones in living animals are living tissue. These museum bones are as different from living bone as a log is from a growing tree. Bone tissue is just as alive and important as muscles, brain, or heart. Some bones are hollow. The cavity contains a soft tissue, the marrow. There are two kinds of marrow. Red marrow produces all red blood corpuscles and most white cells. Yellow marrow is mostly fat, but it can also produce corpuscles in a body emergency like a large blood loss. The human skeleton has over 200 bones, all working together to protect and support our bodies. The bones of the human skull are heavy and large to house and protect the large brain. The ribs fasten to the breastbone, making a cage to protect the heart and lungs. The bones of the spine are in a curve which balances the body in an upright position. The hip bones or pelvis is enlarged to support the bladder, intestines, and reproductive organs. Leg and foot bones allow us to stand, walk, and run while remaining upright. We move freely because our bones are not fastened rigidly together. Joints between bones allow us to move. All joints must be held securely in place if they are to function properly. Tough bands of fibers called ligaments hold the bones in position. Within these, the synovial membrane produces synovial fluid to lubricate the joint. Layers of cartilage protect the bony surfaces and prevent the bones coming into direct contact. Different types of joints allow different kinds of movement. An X-ray view shows how bones move. The shoulder and hip have ball and socket joints. The upper arm can move in almost any direction at the shoulder. The joints in the elbow and finger are hinge joints and work in the same way as the hinge on a door. Again, the hinge action shows using X-rays. Hinge joints allow movement in one direction only. The most visible animals on Earth are the vertebrates. They have large brains, in a protective skull, and an internal skeleton that gives support. Their skeletons all contain bones that are the same in some ways, but the individual framework has changed to suit different ways of life. In all vertebrates, the large brain and many nerves lie within protective bone cages. This has created a superior and highly responsive nervous system. An internal skeleton helps humans and every other vertebrate carry on many of life's functions.